Welcome back to part 4 of our 50 rounds at 50 yards 22 LR testing series. So this time we are going to be taking a look at Eley Tenex. So this is by far going to be the most expensive load that we've looked at so far. This stuff's over $20 a box, if you can believe that. If you've never seen any higher end 22 LR match grade ammo, this is about as high as it gets, with the exception of some of the Lapua stuff. But, well, and RWS I guess can get up there, but with that being said, we're going to try 50 rounds of this at 50 yards. We are going to weigh every round, and we are also going to get velocity data on every single round. So really interested to see what this stuff's going to do as compared to some of the other stuff that we're going to test this season with our 22 LR loads. Now this here is a 40 grain round nose, so it is a solid. If you've not seen these before, they are a nicer ammo. There is no question about it. I mean, they are quality. So let me pull one of these out here real quick, just in case you've never seen Tenex in the wild. But it's got kind of a silver coating to the projectile. It's got mild lubrication. I would say that some of your SK and stuff like that has a little bit more lubricant on it than what this does. Lapua is another one that has quite a bit, but pretty interested to see what these will do. So when I come back, we'll have all these fired. We'll go over all of the data for you all and see how this stuff does. All right, so we're on our last 5 rounds here, and I have to say it's been by far the most consistent load we've tested here on the channel to date. Statistically anyway. So it's always interesting to see how, numbers kind of play out in terms of real world performance. And I think this is a perfect case study in that. So I will definitely kind of speak to that when we go over the numbers on the bench. Interestingly enough, I actually had a failure to fire in one of these rounds. Definitely did not expect that, but I put it back in the magazine in the same position and it did fire the second time around. .1083, but as far as the velocity goes, pretty consistent. And another one. Who would have thought? So that's 2. We've now had 2 failures to fire. I've not had that with any other round to date doing these tests. And it set that one off. So let me run down. I'm going to get our target, go back. We're going to crunch all these numbers, and I'll meet you guys back on the bench. Okay, so we are back here on the bench. We've got the numbers crunched. Now this is our Eley Tenex. So as mentioned, this is a 40 grain round nose, and we went through. They do have very nice boxes, I will say that. This has by far been the most expensive 22 ammo that we've tested in this way. So here are the results. So here is our sheets, and we've got all of our statistical data right here. So on this page here, we have all of our data as represented by the grain weights, and I have to tell you, it was just absolutely remarkable as far as the consistency in each round weighed. So we had a standard deviation of 0.05. And if you look at the frequency table, we had 37 of those rounds come in at 51.9 grains. And then let's see, what was the range? The range was only 0.2 grains. That is pretty doggone amazing for rimfire ammunition. That's pretty wild. And we had confidence level on the grain weights was 0.06%. Anything 5% and lower is good when you're talking about the standard error of the mean. So that's pretty remarkable, I'm not going to lie. And then when we move to, let's see our velocity numbers. So we had an SD of 7.3, and we had a range of only 33 feet per second. So that also is pretty doggone good. I mean, we're talking, but again, you know, this stuff is like, I want to say it's like $22 a box. I mean, it's $20 or more. I forgot that I even had this, so it was good that I did. We get some data on it, but I mean, that's really, really good. And let's see, on this one, we had an SEM of 0.46. So again, anything less than 5 is good. So that's remarkable. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Now let's get to the actual shooting. So this right here is a prime case of, just because you have a high quality ammunition doesn't mean that the rifle you're shooting it out of is going to like it. And this right here holds extremely true to that. I have shot a little bit of this in the past out of that Mark II, and it's did okay, but it's not like completely blown the socks off of everything else. I mean, as far as performance out of the gun, it's very similar to that of SK and, believe it or not, even CCI standard. And we're talking about an ammunition that's about 3 times the cost. But it really goes to show you that, especially when you're dealing with rimfire, just because you buy super expensive ammo does not mean that it's going to shoot it well. And this right here is a prime example of that. So here is our 50 shots. And we had some outliers. You know, we had that one there and that one there. That one there came within the first 10 rounds. And that very well could have been me, guys. This right here, this basically just gives me somewhere to put the ammunition. That's what this is for. This is all going to be relative to you shooting your rifle and what kind of rifle you have and whether or not your rifle actually likes that ammunition or not. What we're most concerned about is the statistical data, which, as far as that goes, this stuff right here is pretty doggone amazing. Now, like I mentioned, though, every rimfire is different. You can put this same ammunition in another Mark II and it may shoot it flat out amazing. You just don't know. That's why if you're in the market for a quality 22 ammunition, you're going to have to just buy a bunch of them and just shoot them all and just see which one shoots the best. Now, I did foul the barrel with this before testing, as I do with all of it. Standard testing regimen. After 10 rounds, let the barrel cool for a little bit and then fired and fired and fired until we got through our 50 shots. But with a overall SD grain weight of 0.05 and velocity SD of 7.3, range, that range is really, really good. That range is extremely tight for velocity. So that's only 33 feet per second. And look at that. Range for our grain weight, 0.2 grains. That is absolutely amazing. Did have some stars on a couple of these shots, and some of those did equate to this here. So we did have a high of, I think it was 1102, our high velocity, and a low of 1069. So there was a couple that I thought might have been a little bit pulled. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm not 100% bench rest shooter, but I do okay. But I know I pulled that one there. Otherwise, I think maybe with the exception of 1 or 2 more, all of these were really, really good trigger presses. It's just my rifle just don't like Tenex that well. But that's not going to hinder the statistical data from velocity and your grain weight for each individual round. So definitely let me know what you guys think down in the comments. These tests are getting a lot more fun. They're a ton of fun to shoot and to see the after effects whenever I get all the numbers crunched. But please let me know down in the comments if you like this stuff. Maybe suggest another ammo that you would like to see featured. I'll see if I can get some of those. I've got a few more in the queue that I'm going to start rolling out as the year progresses. So hopefully we'll get a nice little catalog of 22 LR ammo tested. So can't wait for that. But please like, share, and subscribe. Hit me up over on the Facebook page. Check out our Patreon. I'd like to do some more with that if possible. Also, if you'd like to support the channel and get something in return, hit up our Teespring. You know, get a t-shirt, maybe a sticker or something. It'd be greatly appreciated. And as always, shoot straight. Later.